Hey, what's going on, you guys? Today I'm going to do what I think, I'm not 100% sure, might be my first review on a New Living Translation Bible. The New Living Translation is a more of a quote unquote dynamic equivalent translation. Uh, that's what they call it. There's many times when it's very, very accurate to the point to where it's very literal in its accuracy for our contemporary language. But without getting into any of that, I do want to say that NLT is one of the number one translations today for devotional reading among many people, even those that like the more literal side. So I'm pleased to be able to do this review of the NLT Study Bible. This thing has a slip case. It's one of the ones like you could stand up like this, so you could slide it in here like that, stand it up. Very neat. So here's the box, slipcase box. Very nice. I like the colors. It's very standoutish, popish. I like it. Here's the back of the box. Talks a little bit about the New Living Translation there and the Study Bible. Then you come down here, and here is your features of their Study Bible: 300 plus theme articles, 25,000 study textual notes, 85 introductory articles, 228 charts, 200 Greek and Hebrew word studies, 90 plus profiles, and 50,000 plus cross references. Very, very, very nice study Bible here. I like it because it's actually very nice for a pretty deep study, and I'll show you why here in just a minute. There's your ISBN and the retail for $49.99. Of course, you can get it much, much cheaper. So let's start off. This is a hardback. It says NLT Study Bible on here, and it's kind of embossed into the hardback. This also has it's like a textured, you hear it? It's textured hardback. It's not smooth. So almost like cloth over board, which is really nice. I like this. I like how you can feel that here. I like how it looks. It just looks nice. The spine, NLT Study Bible, pretty basic, pretty nice on the back here. It's got your ISBN numbers. And this Bible has one blue ribbon, which looks really good. Look how it pops with the Study Bible on the side there. So there's no kind of gilding or anything. And this particular one has your thumb index, which is really cool. So the good, the bad, and the ugly. I will say I like this Bible. It's hardback, paste down. I'm actually starting to like getting my study Bibles in hardback. I actually like that because I like to be able to just stand them up where I can just slide them out on my shelf instead of having to lay them down and stack them up. So anyways, this is your presentation page. I already bent that page over there. Your dedications, NLT Study Bible. You have your copyright page and your contents, if y'all want to pause on the contents there. Then you've got all your basic contents up here. If I can get that stuck there. It's contributors, the Study Bible contributors. The NLT Study Bible introduction. Now, one thing I'm going to say before I go any further is my reviews are non-biased, okay? And this study Bible is amazing in certain ways that I'm going to show you, but there's one issue. And that issue is that from what I can tell, it's a glued binding. And with it being 2020, I would love to see Tyndale fix that. There's no reason that it should not be sewn binding. And if this Bible was sewn binding, it would be a home run. Now, this is their hardback. So I'm not going to say that their imitation leather or any of the others are not sewn binding, because a lot of hardbacks are sewn and some are glued. But I just want you guys to know that this particular one is a glued binding, okay? So I don't want you to get it and be upset with me or whatever. So this is a glued binding. Now, That's the only negative that I see. I'm going to tell you 2 positives right from the get-go. Here's how to study it. One positive is this Bible is in all black and white. There's a note to the reader, introduction to the New Living Translation, which I think you should all read, because those of you that may be against NLT, you need to read this, because there is a method to their madness. It's a great translation. The Bible Committee of the New Living Translation, and there is the translation team. It is a great team. It is a large team, and they work very, very hard on what they do. Here's your master biblical timeline here at the beginning of this Bible. And remember, one thing I like about this is it's all black and white. I like Bibles that have color. It's cool. But there's something to me about it just being black and white. Just plain black and white. Simplicity, is just easier to me. So, anyways, there's your Old Testament, and you open it up. What you're going to have is you're going to have an introduction here to the Old Testament. You're setting the Old Testament story, and it's really in depth. Look at all the detail here about the Old Testament. It introduces you to the Old Testament. Introduction. The Old Testament background, archaeological introduction to the Old Testament. This is actually look at that timeline of the archaeology and the sources from the Old Testament. It gives you dates and everything of these tablets and things like that. So then you go to the Pentateuch, the introduction to the Pentateuch. It talks about that. So before you jump right into Genesis, it gives you a overview, background, and deep study of where the Old Testament came from. I love that. So for those of you that think the NLT in and of itself is a translation maybe it's not for deep study, you're wrong. This study Bible is very good for deep study. So you have your introduction here. You have an outline and you have a timeline. Then you got a summary, a setting, character, authorship. Look at all this stuff. It's so much. And then boom, you open it up and you've got Genesis 1, and this is all your text and this is all your notes, tons of notes. And then you've got this article about the creation. One thing I like about this Bible is throughout this Bible, you're going to have articles like that break down kind of what is a big theme in these sections. Very important theme in people. There's Adam, original sin. So you're going to see these things, retribution. So these themes or these articles throughout this thing like that are really good, because what they do to me when I'm reading this, they make this section pop. So, okay, hardship in following God. So I know that chapter 5, verses 1 through 23 is about hardship in following God. So that gives me a basis to go back and read it on, and gives me a new lens to read that passage. Then there's little graphs like this and stuff. And I like how all of this is black and white. It's very, very, very nice. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. This thing is very in depth. This could be a Bible that you would go to for your everyday study. Like, I'm going to read it because it's New Living Translation. I like that. Compassionate Healer. Oh, and by the way, this is in red letter text, as you can see. And when you go back here, let's go back here. There you get your introduction to the New Testament. And then here's what's cool. Just like the Old Testament, you got all this introduction. Then you've got your introduction to the 4 Gospels. Y'all can see that here. Introduction to the 4 Gospels. Then you've got the chronology of the life of Jesus, which is really neat. Something different, something nice. The NLT harmony of the 4 Gospels. And you got all your harmony. So you got all this stuff prior to the book of Matthew. So anyways, as you can see, this is red letter. These are sections. Your little article things there. I like this Bible quite a bit. There's a great big map of the temple and stuff. There's the temple again. Very neat. Very, 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 very neat. I like this Bible. It's really nice. Like I said, the only downfall is that this is a glued binding, which their other ones might not be. All right, so when you get at the end of Revelation, which you're at the end of Revelation here, you've got this section in the back. All right, so this is an introduction to the time after the apostles. That's something very neat to me too, because it describes what happens to the church and Christians in the post-apostolic church. Talks about the canon of the Scripture and how we started getting the Scripture and so on and so forth, and the copying of the Scripture. And then you've got this section where you got Hebrew and Greek word studies. That's really, really neat. Little section here. Then you've got this section where you've got featured index. Features index, where you got these features indexed throughout the Scripture. They were the ones I was showing you earlier. And then after that, you've got, let's see if I can get back here. That's still that. Almost. Then after that, you've got your dictionary and concordance. Really, really nice and in-depth. It's large. It's very, very large. And then after that, you've got your maps. And these maps are really, really thick paper, really nicely done. Then you've got all these colored maps back here. Page after page after page after page after page of colored maps. Look at that. Just still going. So, and then that's it. You got cardstock here, and that's it. So I will tell you that this is a nice Bible. It is a very nice Bible. It's nice looking. You take care of it, even with it being a glued binding, it will last you. I would say I do wish that it was a sewn binding. I'm not going to lie about that. But you guys, I'll try to find out if the imitation leather or whatever in this NLT Study Bible is a sewn binding. But this thing is nice. It's very, very, very deep. So the textual studies in it, the notes in it, they're very good. It's a great translation, great study Bible. I do recommend this. I really, really do. And believe it or not, it's pretty deep. So this isn't necessarily beginner level deep. This is good stuff. So anyways, I love you guys. I thank you for watching. I hope that you like, subscribe, share. If you have any questions, let me know. Love you guys.